Hi, and welcome to Om Practice, where you can be at home in class. This is DL at the Intuitive Yoga Lab, and this is Tranquil Yoga Stretch. So to begin tonight's class, we will start with some breath work. So if you would place your hands around the lower rib cage, and you don't want the hands too far in front where they can touch, it would be better for them to be out to the sides with the thumbs towards the back, so you can get a sense of the back ribs moving as you breathe. And from here, we're just going to breathe normally and just notice what you notice as you breathe in. Feel the tissues under your fingers moving, rising, changing. And as you exhale, likewise, feel everything moving back in towards the center line. So breathing in and expanding. See if you can feel movement both towards the front of your body as well as the sides and even to the back. And then exhale, release. Feel the movement back in towards the center line. Let's repeat that a few more times. So rather than a lot of movement in the belly rising and falling, we're trying to get some more breath in through the middle region of the trunk. And it might require you to open up the chest more than you're used to, and even into the shoulders. Good. Just getting familiar with what the breath is like right now in this space and time as we prepare for class. If you want to close your eyes, you can go more deeply into the sensations of breath. And as you relax, you may find that you feel or sense even more movement and freedom. Let the body respond in whatever way it wants to. Let anything that's tight and normally restricted be moved and broken through with the breath. Good. Go ahead and release your hands and just breathe normally. I'm going to read you a really short quote. This is essential Kundalini yoga, and I just love this passage on page 4. It just says, "You cannot think yourself out of thinking. You cannot think yourself out of obsessing. You cannot think yourself out of fear. But you can change your energy to change your thoughts." So let's continue to change our energy now so that we have more tranquil, peaceful thoughts as we continue on our day. So you're going to place your hands out, fingertips on the floor to either side of you. And then with the breath, so with the extent of the inhalation, you're going to raise your arms. Now, if you inhale and your arms, your inhalation ends here, then that's where your arms will end. If you can go even further with the inhalation, even all the way overhead, feel free to do that. And then as you exhale, you're going to let the arms fall slowly back down towards the ground. The key is to stay with the breath. So, breathing in, and this will be at your own pace. Don't feel like you have to mirror me. I want you to be led by your own breath. So breathing in and out. And you can play around with whether you're breathing in through the nose preferably, but out through the nose or the mouth. You can experiment and see what you prefer. And when you release, just completely release so that you're not prepared for the next inhalation. Actually give yourself the chance to completely let go at the end of that. And you can close your eyes if it gives you a deeper, more internal experience. You don't need to see me. Good. Remember to come back down and release. You can also start to play around with an awareness of the opening through the rib cage as you breathe that you've already experienced with the hands around that rib cage. You can still feel that movement. And maybe as the arms lift, you can feel a little bit of lift from the rib cage away from the lower belly. And you don't need to worry about the shoulders coming up towards the ears. That's actually a beneficial thing here, so you can feel that separation from the lower belly and the thoracic or the rib cage up. Let's do one more breath like that. You can hold at the inhalation and then release. Good, and just sit for a moment with your hands maybe in Gyan Mudra or resting on your knees. And note any effects of the breath. Maybe the state of your mind has slightly shifted, your mind quieted. Maybe you feel a little more calm or centered or not, just notice. Okay, and so for our stretching sequence today, I'd like you to lie on your side. You might need or be more comfortable if you have a blanket that you can put under your head. If you have a pillow, that would also work, as long as it's not a real tiny pillow that just your head fits on. I'm going to fold this blanket in such a way that instead of being a short kind of pillow, I have a longer pillow. And that's because we're going to be doing some rolling. And I'm going to make sure that that's in your view so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to move the camera up. Okay. So we're just going to come down to our side, and you know, this is like you can, I want your arm actually out from your shoulder, just straight out perpendicular. And then I'm just going to bend this a little bit. But I still have more blanket behind me, so there's some room as I'm going to roll. Okay. So what you're going to do to begin, and this is all going to be movement connected with breath. To start, you're just going to slide your top arm as you exhale over beyond the fingertips of the hand on the ground.
Let the shoulder of that arm come forward. You can turn your head toward the ground. And then breathe in and drag that arm back. And just up to the chest, maybe opening just a slight bit to the back. And then again, breathing out as you reach that arm across. And then breathing in as you drag the arm back. And each time you might find that you want to open just a little more. And here's where your head might roll a little bit as it follows with the body. Exhaling forward again. Dragging the arm back on an inhale. Exhale down. This is a somatic movement. It is meant to be very slow so you can feel everything that's happening. And the body just kind of goes along with the movement as you begin to soften and open through your tissues. So here I might start to open that back arm now into more of a twist. And then you'll come back with the exhale. You might be able to see that even my knees are kind of, the top knee is kind of moving over the bottom knee and coming forward a little bit as I reach forward. So I'm not trying to hold my hips in any particular way. I'm not trying to maintain a shape, which we often do in yoga. This is much more organic. And then just rest with your hands together. We're going to slightly change the movement. So here what I'm going to ask you to do is hand on hand and some reach through the arm so that it's an active arm, not loose. You're going to open the arm wide as you breathe in and open back. And then exhale with the arm nice and reaching up and around. Again. And back. One more time, opening with breath in. And here you can pause in that twisted position. If you're holding anything, just kind of find a place where it can release and rest. Give your weight to the ground. And then reach away with that back arm, and then up, back to meet the other arm, and rest. Now we're going to do the other side. You can simply flip over if you want. I'm going to change so that I'm still facing the camera. Okay.
So coming back down. And just stacking, I didn't mention this in the first time we did it, but your hips are pretty much in line with your knees. And then your lower leg directly down from your knees, or maybe even tucked in a little, whatever's more comfortable for you. So from here, we simply start to exhale and reach over that arm on the floor. And as you inhale, drag the arm nice and heavy over the body, a little bit at a time. And as you go, you can move further and further back. Let the head be nice and heavy and follow along with the movement in a natural way. Again, just move slowly. If you're not used to moving this slow, it can feel a little disconcerting at first. But learn to enjoy and find all the pleasure along the way, because there are parts of the body that you'll feel maybe for the first time even. And the next inhalation, opening a little wider perhaps. Even opening that back arm. And releasing back forward. Do that one more time. Pause. And then come back. And so now we'll start with the active arm. So here we have hand to hand, sandwiched. We're going to breathe in and open the arm, top arm. Reaching for the ceiling, opening all the way to the side, or as far as is comfortable for you. Exhale back. Inhale, open. Exhale back. Inhale, open. And then we'll do one more of those, and then we'll stay in that twist for a moment. Opening here, and then letting the body find its place where it can release and let go, so you're not holding anything up. It can be helpful to place a block or cushion between the knees if you feel as though you're kind of hanging off your top hip. Breathe deeply and just release. With each breath, release the weight of the body into the ground and let go more and more. And then with an inhalation, tensing that back arm, up and around, back to the front. And rest there a moment. We'll come onto our backs. So your knees bent, please. Slightly wider or just about hips width. And just take note of any sensations you feel in your body as a result of that practice. Note how your shoulders feel, how your arms feel, maybe even the muscles into the neck. Got some release from that. And you might feel nicely wrung out through the mid-body as well. If anything felt uncomfortable, take note of that as well, so that if you ever do this practice again, you can make necessary adjustments for yourself. Become aware of the surface of your feet. Feel each of your toes, the balls of the feet, both under the big toe and the portion under the little toes. The outer edge of the foot, and the heels. As you become aware of each part of the foot, notice if there's any change through the position of the hips or pelvis. You can just readjust yourself and see if there's any tilting or imbalance that you can alleviate with a little adjustment. And then feel the surface of the back, both sides of the spine, all the tissues there. Shoulder blades and into the shoulders. And the backs of the arms. And feel the contact points of the head resting on the floor as well. Let the breath soften with each exhalation. Find more and more to release here, just by virtue of your breath and your own awareness. Good. Now you can roll onto your side, one side or the other, and press yourself up. Do a time check, yeah, we're near the end. So let's move into our meditation. So for this, you'll want to be in a comfortable seated position, which can be easy pose, on your knees or in a chair. And of course, if you're sitting in easy pose and you're rounding your spine at all, please do sit on something to elevate your hips. It will make your time here much more comfortable. So we're going to do a practice that I really love. It's called self-hug. And there are two variations of hug that I would like to recommend to you. So you can try them both and then see which you prefer. So the first one is to place your hands with your thumbs inside your arm, or just outside rather, your armpits, crossing your arms, so like so. So this is a kind of a nice anchoring feeling. You don't feel like you have to hold your arms anywhere because the weight of your arms are over your hands. It's very stabilizing, so you might enjoy that sensation. The other option is simply to cross your arms and hold on to either shoulder at the top. And this one might be a little harder or more difficult, especially for some women. So just do whatever feels right for you. Once you get in the position that you want to be in, we're just going to begin tuning in with our eyes closed to our breath and the sensation of being hugged. We really can soothe ourselves, and it is more and more important every day to have that skill. As we're faced with more and more challenges every day. And as nice as it is to be comforted by others, sometimes we have no choice but to comfort ourselves. And comforting ourselves can be as lovely, if not even more lovely, than receiving from someone else. It's an act of self-love and self-nurturing. So tune back into your breath that we started with from the beginning, of feeling the rib cage expanding in all directions on the inhalation. The breath moving up into the upper part of the body. And then releasing, feeling everything coming back in towards the center line on the exhale. So you'll feel a little rise at the shoulders with the breath. And a little fall as you exhale. Work on expanding in all directions, 360 degrees as you breathe in. And exhaling, coming back in towards the center, towards your core and center. And then think some loving thoughts to yourself, whatever they may be. Maybe something along the lines of, I'm here for you, I love you, I accept you, be at peace, I am here with you. Good. You can release your arms now. Just let them rest in your lap. And just take note of how you're feeling at this moment after practice. Hopefully more tranquil. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you next Wednesday for Tranquil Yoga Stretch on Practice.